I got involved as a volunteer because I wanted to stay involved in my children's classrooms and to help even other students.
I spent my whole career with seniors and geriatrics, and I said if I was going to do volunteer work, which I knew I was going to do in retirement, it was going to be with young people.
I chose to volunteer because I have a history of having been a teacher and having been involved in education, and I just kind of missed it.
For my part, I love children, and I was a former elementary school teacher.
You can feel like you can help the child, okay, when you start bonding them, because they got a person here they can talk to, and the person that hears that wants to help. And that's what I want to do. I just want to help.
It's just really satisfying. My parents were both teachers, and when I was growing up, I always thought, oh, I'm going to be a teacher too. And I didn't go down that path, so now I feel like I get a little bit of that educational aspect that I am passionate about.
And it's just plain rewarding. I think we as volunteers get more out of it than the kids do.
As a parent who has 2 children in the school and as a volunteer for many years now, I see the volunteer program as a very important part, because not only can it allow parents to get involved and kind of see what's happening in their school, because even if they're not directly in the classroom, they're going to know what's going on in the school. It helps parents get involved, but it also brings the community in to support the school.
I think a lot of people think it's just a parent's responsibility to volunteer, but we have so many people from the community. We have senior citizens, retired senior volunteer program in Waukesha helps us out a lot. Women's Club of Pewaukee and church groups, and they can volunteer in so many different aspects, from an hour to a weekly commitment.
Volunteers make things possible in our schools that wouldn't be possible otherwise. The individual extra attention for students, making book fairs happen, making time to encourage and grow a child in their math skills, making sure that there are so many possibilities for our students.
In 2011, as part of Pewaukee School District strategic planning, we realized that we needed to expand our volunteer program. Although it was a healthy program with many volunteers and thousands of hours given every year, we realized that the academic portion of the program could really be grown. We decided that we'd start with a program called Expert Listeners to help kids with reading, and Math Mentors to help children with math skills.
What I like about Expert Listeners is that they help us get through tricky words. When you're on a tricky word, like when I'm on because, they chunk it up into 3 pieces.
You can definitely see the improvement from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, that they're becoming more confident in their reading, and so it's very rewarding that way.
They've made me better by in doing my fluency, and if I need help, they'll help me, and they kind of at the end they give me comments oh, you did great. I could just close my eyes and relax and just listen to you.
I can see that their fluency is increasing, or their words per minute, their rate, their expression in their voice when they're reading. And a lot of that stems from the confidence that they're able to build when they're working with an expert listener or a reader.
We can see the difference in terms of the kind of day a student has when they've gotten to start their day off with some one-on-one time with a committed volunteer, and they walk back into the classroom with pride regarding the way they've read to someone they care about and the way they proceed through their day. They start their day off feeling good about themselves. There's no question in terms of the difference it makes for them.
I think students benefit from having Math Mentor support because it's another person in the classroom. It's the opportunity to work in a smaller group that maybe they don't get to do every day when you have such a big class size. And I know how a lot of our classroom teachers use the Math Mentor is they have the students work in a small group to kind of work on some of those skills that maybe they just need a little bit more support with. And it's really kind of strengthening those skills to help the students feel more confident with what they're doing in the classroom, but then also just, bigger picture, it's helping close that achievement gap.
It's allowing us to have that extra set of hands to do that individualized instruction that, you know, one teacher can't do with 24 students in a classroom. So there's a huge benefit.
Regarding our academic-based volunteers, we give them the tools and the training they need to feel comfortable to do a good job with our students.
It was a very easy process. I think we had gotten different times we could come in for training sessions, so there was good availability. We met with the reading resources who helped us learn how we're supposed to read with these kids. So we didn't come in feeling blind or not knowing what we were doing.
Well, when our volunteers come in, we like to teach the strategies that the teachers use, and we use a lot of tricky things that the kids can easily remember. So things like Eagle Eye, where the kids look for the tricky words, or rereading Rhino. We teach those to the volunteers so that they can help the kids, because those are very familiar strategies that the kids use in the classroom. And as the kids get older in 2nd and 3rd grade, we're really focusing on comprehension. So we teach the volunteers what questions do you ask to really get understanding of the characters or the setting. So we have prompts that the volunteers can use to help the students really dig deep into their reading.
I would say don't run when you hear we need math mentors. We do give our mentors a lot of tools to work with, such as grade level specific manipulatives like counters and blocks and unit cubes in kindergarten. We also train them how to use the place value blocks, which are real important in starting in 1st and 2nd grade and into 3rd grade. When a mentor will work on fractions with students, we'll have them working with fraction strips because it's a very visual way for kids to understand fractions. We have grade level specific manipulatives all the way up to 6th grade, so we would show the math mentors how to use those and when to use them.
The Pewaukee School District did a fabulous job at preparing us to be volunteers through the orientation and through training and just even the safety measures that they take here at the schools. You feel confident when you walk in the building, and you feel that you're in a great safe place where learning can happen and where relationships can be built.
People may be nervous about a long time commitment, but we do have volunteers that work just one time, one event. But for our academic-based volunteers, we need a weekly commitment. It's kind of October with training through mid-May. And of course, if there's field trips or speakers, we let the volunteers know so that they don't have to come in that day. But we appreciate a commitment through the end of May. With that said, people move, or when their children graduate to another school, we're always bringing in new volunteers throughout the school year.
There are so many aspects that we need volunteers for, PTO organization, the expert listeners, math mentors, helping out in classrooms, going on field trips, helping with book fairs, helping with fundraising. Anywhere people want to help, there's a need for it.
If someone was considering volunteering, I would fully encourage them to do it, and just to know that we can help find the perfect niche for what you're wanting to do. Whether it's working with an individual student or a small group of students, or whether it's doing something behind the scenes that's supportive of the schools. Every volunteer has their niche that can fit for the amount of time they have or the amount of involvement that they want. Every volunteer that comes in and cuts or makes a copy or hangs artwork up on our walls makes a difference, because it allows that teacher who may have been doing that kind of work to focus more fully on the instruction they're providing for kids and what our students need.